The original SQL script was actually spread across. This did all the generation of temporary views, temporary tables, and then the second script actually derived the rename statements. It also updates the Ancestry Media database because these scripts are actually changing the file names within the RootsMagic folder and then going and making the corresponding changes to the RootsMagic database. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to touch it. So, and then this third script was an undo. But if I take a look at this script, it's actually quite lengthy. And what I found for what I wanted to do, first of all, I didn't need a number of these tables, so I just took them out. The problem that I was getting is mentioned up here, that to run the script you need a SQLite manager with this particular collation sequence. Now, the DB browser that I'm using doesn't have that, but it seemed to be a bit of a rigmarole to get a SQLite manager that does. So what I did was I just eliminated the need to have this. I primarily did so by taking out this star. So that's basically go and get all columns. Only some of the columns are using the collation sequence. So if you don't need them, don't take them. I had to name explicitly then some of the columns that were needed. So if we go up to the top here, this is my working script. You can see that I eliminated the star, and then I just brought in the extra columns that are referenced later. I then collapsed the two scripts into one because right down here where it starts doing the work is in the second script. I just want to point out to you this line. The only column that I needed that had this collation was actually quite a crucial column. It was this name of the media file has an attribute that has that collation. So what I did was I wrapped the column with a substring, and basically to run a conversion on it. But if you notice, I'm taking a substring of this particular column. I'm saying start at 1 and take it to the length, the entire length. If it's 12 characters or 14 characters, and use that as a media file. So I'm getting the same number of characters, but it eliminates the collation error. And just to show you what I mean here, I'll just open a new tab, and if I just do select star from multimedia table, you'll see what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. What you get is collation needed. Here's that media file. So I eliminated the error by just wrapping the column with a substring and taking from character 1 to the end of the number of characters in the column. One other thing that I did that is a problem I had, and I just want to show you in the RootsMagic Essentials media. This is an Ancestry problem. If I look at the media gallery, it's locked because I've got it open in SQLite. If I close this, I should be able to. I'm going to close the database. I'll just say discard. Now I should be able to open RootsMagic. Okay, so open RootsMagic again. And I'm back into, do I want news? No, I do not. Attempt 2, and now I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I want to show you is a few problems that I have within the media gallery where you see these X's. Something's gone wrong here, but it's not a RootsMagic problem. If I click on one of these, and here's the file name, and just to be clear, it's giving it this weird, it's saying, okay, this is the folder. Then it's giving it a URL, and then it's saying it's an empty file name. It's .jpeg with no proper name. That's not a RootsMagic problem. If I pull up Ancestry now, what you can see here is I have a lot of source media for this individual. One of them is this source media down here, which is from attached yonks ago. It's from a census record from the Irish National Archives. But Ancestry is saying is that this is one of its web sources. Yeah, there we go. There's a problem going on there with these particular web links, and I don't know if it's just this particular archive, the National Archives of Ireland, or if it's a more general problem, and that's why we've got these. But what I did have in the database was a whole lot of files that were named with this mad name that was .jpeg with no particular name. So naturally enough, the script wasn't going to do much with that. So what I have in my version of the script is this. I'm just eliminating anything that has a .jpeg with no name before the file structure. And what else did I do? Basically, the original script puts in that birth year, death year. So you have person name, birth year, death year, like here. It puts in a 0. So if there's no death year, and I didn't want to see a 0. So here, for example, with this Anne Marie Byrne, born 1928, I just have hyphen nothing. The original has hyphen 0. So you can stick that line back in if you want hyphen 0. And I noticed that I didn't. Here I have a no death year and I have no birth year. And I didn't take out the 0 for the birth year, which I'm going to do because I don't, seeing just 0, it just looks a bit stupid to me. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do it here on the fly. I'm going to put in case when birth year equals to 0, then empty string, else birth year. Don't forget your end. Okay. And just to double check that I haven't made a syntax error, that will, yeah. So that will do what I want. So there's this guy, doesn't have a birth year, doesn't have a death year. I am keeping in the hyphen, but I'll just keep that in anyway. Did I make another change? I made another change somewhere of the index. So I stuck this in. The original script was naming them. It would go birth year, death year, and then straight into the name of the collection. And I just found the numbers, it was difficult to tell where the name of the collection started when you had multiple numbers. That's just purely a visual thing. So I stick in index, and you have to do it in 3 places. So this is a big union statement with 3 parts. So stuck in index there, union all there, and there's a third union there. And one more change that I made was that it kept on after the name of the person, it was concatenating with name. I wasn't quite sure what was going on there, and I didn't want to see name in every single file. It's quite obvious that it's name, so I commented this line out. And that was it in terms of the changes I made to the script once I had shortened it, because in the original script there was more views and temporary tables being created than seemed to be needed later on, that I needed to get what I wanted. So I just took out what wasn't necessary. Hope that helped. If you do find problems, it may well be that you have weird names in the original source, in the original files. So you can post a comment on this YouTube video and I may be able to assist. We'll see how it goes.